everybody, and thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to be streaming our Play Your Way Thursday build that was voted by you guys. So joining me today, we have quite a few very special guests. First off, we've got Associate Game Designer John Yang.
Hey, everybody.
We've also got, of course, the gentleman who submitted the build, Dead Set.
Hello.
And then last but certainly not least, we're also joined today by Kelric, who you might know from YouTube as well as Twitch.
Hello.
So today, just to give you an idea, if you've never joined us before for a Play Your Way, what we're going to do, especially with the patch having come out, we're going to go ahead and use a couple of key of trials, show about how far we can get, and maybe upgrade some gems and see how far we can climb. Other than that, we'll talk a little bit about the build that was submitted, and then just kind of see where conversation goes from there. This is a sort of a casual stream, so we're here to have fun and just chat.
And be carried if you're me.
Yeah, both of our guests today are from the EU servers, and so I unfortunately had to pester them to level characters on NA for us. And thank you guys very much for doing that. We really appreciate it.
No problem, no problem. You did most of the work, to be fair.
All right.
Okay.
Trial time.
Trial time. We're going to see how far we can get today.
I have been saving myself for this, for today. I have not done this yet.
Oh, awesome.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
This is probably, I think this is only like my third one.
This is only your third one. And how far have you gotten so far?
I have hit Greater Rift 19.
I beat 37 last night. I haven't tried 38 yet.
36 on PTR, I think.
Nice.
Ooh. Okay.
32 with the new set, which is actually very decent, like for something that is basically just being developed and has a lot more in store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we kind of just threw that set out there. It's performed pretty well. I think you could probably use another supporting piece. Wait, what wave are we on? We wanted to not go super high. But suddenly things
I'm
are
not
dead.
sure what...
Oh, God.
33.
All right, run away.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I just died.
We might have
so,
gone
you
a
know.
little higher than we wanted to. We were supposed to quit around 25 to 30.
Someone needs
That's
to
right.
keep count, a death
Wait,
counter.
don't kill
Oh, wow.
stuff.
Don't kill stuff. Just run
Yeah,
away.
I'm up the top already, and I
I
can't.
missed and died.
Don't
can't
worry,
kill my
Kelric and I are
sentries.
dead, so we can't.
28.
20,
Okay.
Angry.
okay.
Rooting
28 is
for
pretty
you.
good.
All right. Yeah. That's totally fine.
Respectable,
We're
of
good.
course.
We want it to
It's
be.
better
We
than
want it
I
to
did
be
last
interesting, but
We
not.
want to make sure that, because, especially like Kelric has new characters you guys don't play on the US. Like, that set is Paragon. Well, you're like over 500 on EU?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You guys all have your keys? All right, yeah.
Yes,
See, like, that set is over 500 on EU, but
Yeah, since having to re-roll.
since they
I
had to
mean,
re-roll, the gear's obviously not going to be as good as someone who's been playing on US for a while.
Dead Set's
Yes,
had some
unfortunately.
ridiculous luck.
Yeah, that set, what kind of gear do you have after how many hours of playing?
I think I'm at a little bit less than 15 hours, and I'm sporting a mediocre roll of 6 accounts and a cancer bottle, which was my biggest surprise, basically, but it is due to no small part because of the help of the community.
Great, Charging
Crusader
Angels.
community. Yeah, Corrupted Angels.
Oh boy,
Well,
my
actually,
favorite.
this
Just my luck, actually.
This leads directly into your build, right? You got that cancer bottle after
Absolutely.
re-rolling on US. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah.
So I started basically 3 days ago, a bit
We gotta keep the
nervous
pace up, by
about
the way.
having to re-roll, and
I'm gonna try to push forward. Keep going.
I tried to get a group going. The community had been extremely supportive with that, just having to re-roll immediately. Everyone responded, and we got a group going. We got 6 accounts extremely quickly, for which I'm very, very grateful. And late, I think yesterday, someone actually get a Camstra bottle and was gracious enough to give it to me, for which I was basically floored, because I didn't expect to get a 6 accounts, let alone a Camstra bottle, which, as some of the Crusader players might know, is one of the rarest items you could get as a Crusader.
Yeah.
The second part of the build, unfortunately, I could not obtain, and I cannot focus on one of the things that I wanted to show, which was blocking to reset your cooldowns, which is sort of an important part of the build, unfortunately, but at the same time, it's also something you can circumvent if you have high enough cooldown reduction. You can go for a respectably low cooldown on your falling sword.
If you guys haven't checked out the Leapquake build, the TLDR is Falling Sword plus Cam's Rebuttal, lets you cast it multiple times, and you get that Leapquake kind of feeling, because Falling Sword feels awesome.
Exactly. You Falling Sword twice, basically. This is how Cam's Rebuttal currently functions. It allows you to cast it twice within the time frame before the cooldown starts, and once you get in the thick of battle and you actually provoke the mobs and start blocking with your Akarat's Awakening, hopefully you got a decent roll on that one and managed to block sufficiently. Oh my gosh, this is going to hurt.
Yep, I'm
And
dead.
managed to block sufficiently. You will reset your cooldowns, a Falling Sword, quick enough in order to actually cast it again in a reasonable amount of time, because the cooldown of Falling Sword is rather substantial
Yeah, it's
for
pretty long.
a build that entirely focuses on Falling Sword as a source of damage.
Absolutely.
It's something that I did really for the fun of it. I don't consider it optimal to do such a thing if you are pushing for higher, greater rifts. Of course, until maybe some change occurs or Cam's Rebuttal gets Star Metal Cookery status or that sort of
I see what you
treatment.
did there.
Yeah, I'm pushing for Crusader buffs, basically. That's my agenda.
I see what you're doing there. But yeah, actually, our Play Your Way Thursday, Theorycraft Thursday stuff, we don't feature the all the class optimal builds because everybody
Yeah.
knows what they are. You don't.
Right.
We don't need to feature those. We feature more the ones that are creative, that work. They don't have to be optimal.
The idea is to kind of get people thinking outside the box
Exactly.
a little bit outside what everybody else is playing. And while you'll probably see once in a while touches of some of the more popular builds, I really enjoy seeing variations on builds and making it your own.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I
It's a
know
lot
that
more
I'm
fun.
sending this. I will be sending this Death's Bargain with life regen. Build.
Nice. I look forward to taking a look at that.
Absolutely. Up to Torment 2, no problem.
We're actually going to be featuring next week a monk build. So if there's a monk build out there, everybody, that you want to submit, please send it in. I'd be happy to take a look at it. So.
Absolutely. When I stream, actually, a lot of people ask me when I actually stream a build that is outside of the mainstream, when I'm not playing a Holy Shotgun or a Firestarter, or let's say even the new Phalanx build is going to be fairly popular because it's very effective. But they ask me basically, why am I being non-efficient when I could be, of course, clearing faster or just pushing for higher, greater rifts or anything in that sort of gameplay. But what I tell them is my biggest loss of efficiency is when I'm not having fun and I'm basically quitting the game within a much shorter time frame than I would if I was actually having fun.
That's quite an
pretty good
interesting way
argument.
to put it.
I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, it's a game, right? You should be enjoying it. You should be enjoying playing it. So.
Absolutely. If I run 50 times with Holy Shotgun, I'm basically half asleep on my keyboard, and even the awesome triple shotgun is not able to wake me up.
Thanks for the res.
No, I'm on res duty because I'm running the Laws of Hope, Wings of the Angel. Oh well, there we go. It's your turn to res me.
I want to do it.
Can we switch to John's screen?
I'm just gonna wave pom poms from over here. So you guys are.
All right, one of you grab the 3 progress orbs. The other one res the other one who died.
We die.
Me and Dead Set will kill everything.
John and Dead Set are much better geared than Kelrick and I.
Ding, 43.
Kelrick has a good excuse. I don't.
See, I'm cheating though. I'm running indestructible.
Ah.
You guys should definitely get that. Actually, it's too late. We're in a
no.
greater rift.
I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I survived. So it's a win.
Uh-oh.
Survivability-wise, though, I do have a change that I made to the build to make it a bit better in that department, since it is a Firestarter-based setup, which I am sure that all Crusaders know. Oh my gosh, I died as well.
Oh, geez.
I'm just going to I'm
right.
going to revive and run back.
Wait, no, I'll res.
Okay.
Um,
I'll run back because I have a speed
survivability
boost on.
upgrade is
Okay.
running Asian Department Defenders, because I'm also running a stun low of Valor, which is Frozen in Terror. And once I land and activate Frozen in Terror, I usually get at least 3 or 4 mobs at the same time, which leads to a very nice decrease of damage due to the Ancient Parthon Defender's unique property.
Ah, I see. That's kind of like what Barbs do with Ancient Parthon Defenders, too.
Exactly. So I not only copied the
wow,
Leapquake
back
sort of
up ahead.
playstyle, but I'm kind of looking over their items as well, and so that they use Ancient Parthon Defenders seemed like a nice idea, and did turn out to be a good thing for the build.
It was further back than I thought. But
Oh, yeah, this is a really long...
this is a really long
direct
tunnel.
level.
I didn't expect it to be that long. That's all right. I'm almost there.
Can I ask you, Dead Set,
Absolutely.
about Paragon points? How do you go about spending your points with this build? Because I'm actually running your build right now, all apart from Provoke, because I don't want to be taunting anything right now.
Well, I'm using the usual account set piece distribution, which would mean that in the core section, I try to max out my movement speed so that I don't have to go for a movement speed roll on my boots. In the offense section, I run cooldown reduction first and foremost, and after that, I focus on the crit stats. Usually crit damage first, because having just one weapon usually means you're behind in that department. And in the defense section, all resistance, then life percentage or armor, depending on your needs. I usually go for life percentage. And in the utility department, I go for area damage, and after that, I think I
Area damage.
go for life on hit.
I really
that build.
enjoy running
I
area
guess you don't
damage.
need a resource cost reduction for your build since you're using
Yeah,
cooldowns.
absolutely.
That's interesting. I don't hear
very
take area
build.
damage first very much.
Yeah, it's a lot of people's secondaries rather
Absolutely.
than primary.
I've actually got a few of those that you say to take already. So I've got area damage and I've taken movement speed. But I've got cooldown reduction under offense.
Oh, that's, I mean,
Yeah,
for this build,
definitely.
absolutely.
Definitely focusing on cooldown reduction. I'm doing the same.
I guess you could argue crit will provide almost the amount of damage.
I was trying to hug a turret because I'm using a cameo. And I didn't get to it in time.
Heal me, Arcane.
I'm essentially running around naked right now. So,
Is your gear broken or?
yeah.
Oh no. Well, thankfully we beat this with enough time. We were
Yeah, we're good.
we were not far
Yeah,
ahead
we-
on the first level, but that's because I think we had charging angels for
Yeah, we had charging angels at first, so that was.
Okay. So I have fists of fury though, so I can I can come in and punch things.
Your gear can't get any more broken.
Does Akarat's champion help with the fist punching?
Absolutely.
It does,
just
technically.
disappeared.
Why so
Oh, wow.
good?
I'm gonna see if
one
I
of
can
the
res you in the
sort of-
middle of this mess.
I'm afraid to accept. I'm going for it. I'm going
What's
for
the
it.
worst that can happen?
Falling sword, getting me out of danger for a few more seconds.
Yay! All right, let's all
right.
upgrade our keys.
Yep.
Oh, shinies, legendaries,
Yeah.
Upgrade
and my
keystone.
first gem.
All right.
Nice.
Remember, upgrade keystone. Upgrade keystone.
Upgrade. Wait. Yes, Keystone.
not joking,
Upgrade
right?
Keystone.
Yes, we're gonna try to upgrade keystone.
And we'll do one more level and see where we get.
29. This should be interesting.
29 will be interesting. Give Kelric the opportunity to repair.
Yeah, I'm gonna repair.
Yeah, you can grab indestructible or whatever. Also,
Can I send you my bill?
did everybody talk to Urshi already?
I did. I upgraded my key. I have my 29. Everybody else got theirs?
How do I do this?
Absolutely, yeah.
Click on the NPC inside the Greater Rift. Go back in.
Okay.
Click on the girl, the ghost girl. It's the right option. Option on the right.
Oh no,
Upgrade your keystone.
I see no NPC.
No. You're on
Oh.
level 1. You went into the beginning.
Yeah.
Go to the TP.
To the
Oh right, I see.
Right.
Sorry.
See
Yeah.
that? I'm standing inside right next to Urshi.
Okay.
You got it? Yeah,
Yep.
there you go.
into there.
Oh, I see her.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then just make sure you upgrade your keystone.
We just
And then we
wanted
can
to
do the next one.
We wanted to make sure we get one keystone upgrade thing happen and one gem upgrade thing happen, just so everybody sees
So
both
folks can
things
see how
happen.
that works,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
if they haven't had a chance to jump in and give them a try yet.
Yep, absolutely.
That's good. Okay. I have done that, so I'm coming back.
All right,
Yep.
should be good to go. Then.
Okay.
Paragon levels for everybody.
So I got an interesting shield, which kind of brings another topic in mind, which is for the future of cold for Crusaders. I hear it's going to get phased out slowly but surely.
Oh, what's getting phased
First
out?
on gear.
Cold for Crusaders.
Ah, yes. Much like poison for demon hunters, there are
I
only,
see.
as far as I know, 2 cold skills that exist on the Crusader.
Three.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
3.
They are just three.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's just 3. It's obviously not a lot. If you count cold, Crusader's got 5 elements going on.
Yeah.
So we're really just gonna focus on 4. Yeah.
Get this 20.
Sorry if you like Cold Crusader.
I did try to build around it, but it wasn't exactly working out, even with the last version of Flying Card or something like that. It was nowhere near the... well, of course, that was due to the exploding palm mechanics for monks, but going for a cold build wasn't exactly working out. So yeah, it was just something to reassure the Crusader community that we are not going to have cold anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long term. Well, not like a super long term goal. It's
No, we'll
on the
just-
map.
we'll
for
do it as
being
soon as we
worked
can.
on.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as we stop supporting it, it really sucks to just have those there. They're gonna feel like dead ruins to most people.
Oh, Nev.
Yeah, I know.
I'll save you.
You guys not take indestructible?
we patched that.
What?
Indestructible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It only lasts for 3 seconds now.
Oh, did it proc already and then you died?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I'm not running it right now. I should be running it, but
yeah,
I can't run it. I can't change it now, so oh well.
I'll remind you again if we do another one.
Yeah, if we do another one.
So yeah, talk about Crusaders, talk about items, talk about Greater Rifts, Legendary Gems, how patch 2.1 is going. I think generally people have been enjoying it. I think
Yeah.
Everybody's still trying to level up their stuff.
A lot of people hyped up for seasons as well, which is
Yes, a lot of people
huge.
have just
Oh
been
my gosh, yeah.
have just been
Like
sleeping
nice,
for 2
working
days,
a lot.
getting ready for tomorrow.
I'm so excited, but I will unfortunately not be able to do seasons tomorrow because I'm going to a convention, so
Oh.
I won't be here.
Is it PAX?
I'm not going to PAX. This is a vacation for me,
Ah.
so I'm going to a different gaming convention.
Now, the seasons, is that going to be for all regions?
Should be that we have a blog up on the website that says when it goes live for everybody.
I believe
So
it's different.
I believe
for-
it's 6 p.m. for your local time.
I don't
Right.
think so.
I'm not sure offhand.
I think it's like
So-
9 p.m. EU.
Is it 9 p.m. for EU?
Yeah, look on the website. It's there.
So, but yeah, we have it listed on the website. I'm sure Lylira is correcting me in chat, like a boss.
Literally.
Like yes, literally like my boss.
Like my boss.
the race is going to be on starting tomorrow.
Alright, I think we gotta go back up and to the left.
Oh, do we? Okay.
Yeah. Actually, we don't care. We're planning to fail this one. So we can
We are planning to fail this one. So
Alright, so we just do whatever.
Oh, we just killed Zarim.
Yes, we did. There's a small portion of my heart that is both happy and sad at the same time. I have known Zarim for a very long time.
Zaram, for those who don't know, is one of Diablo's old community managers.
Yeah,
He
he's
now
on
works
WoW.
for WoW now.
Yeah, he's on one on that.
Oh no! I thought I was far enough back from that. I was apparently not
Honestly,
far
no,
enough back
we're
from.
doing fine. We're doing fine. We're actually pushing ahead of the timer, so I've noticed that as long as I'm 15% ahead of the timer, I'm usually going to succeed in a rift, so
Yeah, we're actually doing
Incoming
very well.
Greater Rift level 30. Maybe.
I think these are sympathy deaths anyway, aren't they? Most.
Yeah, a little bit.
So who's going hardcore straight away when season's open?
Oh, jeez.
I know I'm not, but a couple of my teammates are. I know Grimiku, I think, was planning on doing hardcore.
Oh yeah.
I think Tivolier was also planning on doing hardcore. I'm not 100% sure offhand. Maybe I'm putting words in their mouth.
I will say, the top of the hardcore seasonal leaderboards is going to be probably the most respectable.
I will be going for the hardcore ladder for sure.
That's
I know a lot of people are among the streamer community, and I suppose among the content creators as well are going to go for the higher end on the hardcore ladder.
definitely the most risk and most fun to watch.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
I like to minimize risk. I also hate losing progress. So, man,
I am a bit torn as well because going for hardcore does mean I have to tone down experimenting with things as well.
yeah, you want to
So,
experiment
I'll
with
have
things
to-
that make you live,
Absolutely.
which means no experiment.
Yeah, playing a lot more conservatively as a result.
I have to split my time probably. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, if the number of times I've died today is
Oh.
any indication, I should probably not start hardcore.
I actually just started recently leveling my first hardcore character. I don't know if I should admit to that, but I've been pretty afraid before now to do it. The
It's
idea of
intimidating.
dying and losing your character forever.
Yeah.
Definitely
Kinda scary.
intimidating, and it's not
Also-
for everybody.
Also, if you're not a super careful, like long-time hardcore player, you want to just let other people play it 1st, figure out the bugs, let the server crashes happen, and then wait a few days before playing hardcore after a patch or an expansion, whatever.
Yeah.
Here's the exit, top right.
Oh, exit top right.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely been a refreshing change for me, though.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
You're like, don't go in there.
no, we should go in, but I need some tanks. These
All
are the
right.
leaping guys who
Ready?
leap on my face. They're the
There we
worst.
Oh,
go.
wow.
Oh,
is-
I
is by far the worst
totally
enemy
got
for Demon
ganked
Hunter.
by a very similar pack earlier today when I was on lunch.
Yeah.
Yep,
This
I'm
was
next.
painful.
Thank you. Took one for the team.
Kilrick's like, nope, I'm out.
I left. I'm being a ranged crusader right now with my Fist of Heavens.
That's actually a good plan. The higher you go, the more ranged you are. It's going to help you out immensely, especially if you face something like Electrified. This is the terror for anyone that fights up close. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the reason why I would go for a Pet Crusader build maybe later on.
Yeah, that's what
especially
I'm
in
doing
hardcore.
right
Yeah.
now is playing a Pet Crusader build. And I experimented earlier with actually mixing it with Shield Bash, and I don't have the toughness to sustain that at all.
Absolutely.
But I gave it a try, and it's definitely interesting gameplay, but I would need a significantly different build or setup from what I have right now to really sustain it.
Hey, that's it. You did a lot of testing of the Roland set, which I'm very thankful
Yes.
for on the PTR. What are your thoughts on it?
So my basic appraisal is that if gear in Diablo is basically very roughly split into 3 categories in terms of what it provides you with. They either provide you with offense, defense, or utility, just as a basic split.
Yeah, sure.
Rollins provides you with good offense options, but is lacking in the other 2 departments. And usually the mark of a good set piece is when it provides you with at least 2 of those categories. At least that's how I split it in my head. So both Shield Bash and Sweep Attack are very all-in sort of skills. You can't afford to stay safe, or especially with Shield Bash, which basically teleports you right on top of your target.
Yeah.
And going for such a glassy setup forced me to basically go for like 5, I think, of my skill selections were basically dedicated to keeping myself alive, which did lead to a lot of resource management issues.
Yeah,
So
the
one of those things has to be remedied, I think. And in the offense department, I think the stacks fall off a bit too quickly. because the set feels awesome at the 6th stack. Like when you get that 100% attack speed increase and you demolish the face of your enemy at a very high speed, it feels very different compared to the account set piece and the playstyle of the account, which is a bit more paced. I don't know if that's the correct way of saying it.
No,
but
I understand what you mean. Our thoughts on legendary sets are, like you said, damage, toughness, utility is kind of pretty much the three main areas for us too. The thinking is, if we provide you with a set that's full offense, just take all the defensive passives, all the resource cost reduction passives, you know, secondaries, a con, whatever, not a con, Akras champion, whatever, to make up for it. It's quite possible that we didn't give you enough. Like if you think of a set as having 10 stat points worth of power, and we put them into, you know, cons is probably like 5 and 5 for offense, defense. Roland's is obviously like 100% all in offense. It might be possible. It sounds like that the offense doesn't make up for the lack of defense. So maybe the set itself doesn't have enough points. I think it is missing. It could use another synergistic piece. I don't know what your top tier choice is. Obviously, you use the Pure Morella Shield Bash offhand or Golden Flints. I had imagined in my mind when I made this set that people would use Death Diggers for their generators, because the 6Ps causes you to attack twice as fast, which means you generate resources twice as fast with the generators. I don't think that's how people have been thinking about using it. I'm curious to see if people will try it and find that to be successful.
We just went in a circle.
Yeah, because if, like, let's say Punish, you're hitting for 350 base.
I was very close to actually trying this out. I didn't get an Angel Hair break. This is the only reason why I didn't try with Punish.
Yeah, like imagine Punish hits for 350 baseline. Double damage from Death Diggers is 700. You double attack speed, the throughput is 1400. That seems like a very reasonable amount of damage for you to put out that while generating resources. And that was the hope. If we're not there, I think there are many things we can do to push people there. But having a full melee... Oh, Elizabeth Guardian.
Oh, hi.
I guess we'll just move on and kill this guy.
Hi. I'm like, don't turn around.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna buff you with my lore and run away.
I was honestly kind of hoping that a bit more people would give it a chance. I think.
You know, it takes the community a long time. It takes people a long time to come around.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of people focused, or I should say even over-focused on, oh my gosh, getting a good ladder placement with the Condemn build. So
yeah.
I think only one or two people were seriously trying with the new set piece, which was a bit unfortunate when, like, maybe more ideas would have been explored. I was kind of looking forward to the sort of community tests, but a lot of people were actually commenting based on just pure theory crafting and maths, and it's a double-edged sword when you go like that, because it's one thing to make a theory crafting sort of breakdown on the set, and playing with the skills is a bit different. You have to actually go with the build, see how far you can push it, and see what situations actually you come across, because a lot of people were actually thinking whether other runes of Shield Bash are going to be better for the Roland set piece setup, and I don't think they take into account how convenient the Shield Cross rune is for most situations, because they do see the higher damage on Pound, for example, but for the most part, you cannot take mobs one by one with the Pound rune and just hope that you're going to push them.
So what happened there is the art for the set came in pretty late in the development cycle. We said we needed power. It was kind of hastily designed. It was designed pretty late. It looked good in theory. You know, I'd done some math. I thought that the set would produce enough damage. But we really need the community to get their hands on it and try it. And honestly, because it was so late and we didn't have a vendor, you know, that everyone sells gear for free, people didn't get a lot of chance to try it, which is why I was so thankful you farmed it up and tried it, and really proved to everyone that I could at least reach, you know, 30 or 33 or whatever you reached. With leaderboards in existence now and live, I assume people will eventually get it. People will eventually post videos or show that they've gotten to tier whatever.
Quick
And then we
question.
can kind of just...
Are we upgrading keystones?
Yes, we're upgrading keystones.
Wanted to make sure before I did it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sorry to interrupt. Please feel free to continue.
Nice, you got a Thunder Fury. Calric.
I did. Blessed Blade of the Windseeker.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, if you guys see any interesting questions from Twitch, we can totally answer those.
We can answer a few, I'm sure. We can cram those in while we... And I do apologize for dying so much, but we didn't expect to get to 30. Okay. Looks like we've got Dead Set's video is down, but we should still be able to hear you. Are we able to hear you, sir? Oh, maybe not. Okay.
Dead Set, they can't hear you.
We've got
Apparently-
multiple. Yeah, we can't hear Dead Set at the moment.
They can't hear you at the moment, apparently.
Sounds like his Skype must be down.
Yeah, his Skype might have gone down for a moment. Skype is offline. Okay.
Check your Skype.
We're going to go ahead and get that fixed.
Yeah. We can just chat for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
Answer some questions
Okay.
if I see anything.
He says he's going to fix Skype and call back.
Okay. Sounds good. In the meantime, we could probably take a couple of questions from
Yeah.
Twitch. We're
If anything
taking
you
a look
see that's
at it right
interesting,
now.
go for it.
Let's see. Where do you apply for QA? I can answer that question. You can apply at blizzard.com. Just head to our careers page and you can check out what we're currently hiring for. Let's see.
There's a question about Firebirds. I want to talk about that
Oh,
for
sure.
people who are interested because it's been a hot topic. Firebirds has had a lot of bugs over the development of 2.1. How we'd like it to work. Let me explain the bug right now. The bug, as of yesterday and possibly right now, is that when the 3,000% weapon damage per second starts ticking, it ticks as if it had crit or hadn't crit. And obviously crits deal somewhere in the range of 5 times as much damage as a non-crit. So that's what the bug was. Either you get a tick for 10 million or 50 million. And then when it's 10, you feel like it's broken. And totally is.
Yep.
What we're going to do is we're going to roll the crit damage and the crit chance into it, much like how Haunt and Ren work. So the dot itself will no longer be able to crit, but instead of doing 3,000% weapon damage, it will be somewhere, it will calculate your crit and crit damage in fairly. You can do the math yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I was actually working on the hotfix list on the forums right before I came here. It was pending when I was looking at it, so
Okay.
it's listed as an upcoming hotfix. We are working on it.
Yeah.
It's on its way, but I don't have an ETA on that just yet. So,
Yeah.
if it has gone out, then I will update the hotfix thread appropriately. So you can keep an eye out for that on our forums. Let's see. We've got all kinds of questions going through. Oh my goodness, chat.
I'm going to answer the question about Demon Hunters.
Sure.
Demon Hunters is a big topic, and it's mostly because the other 5 classes see them 2 or 3 tiers above everyone else. That, we think, is a slight problem. We'd love for all classes to be within 1 or 2 of each other. Some people have pointed out that Demon Hunters' damage output is actually not too far higher than everyone else. The problem is that they have really good sustain. Additionally, they can do the damage while being out of range, around a line of sight. And they have a cheat death and smoke screen that invulnerability them.
Do we have connection? Maybe I am back
Oh,
on.
I hear
Hey,
Dead Set
Dead
now.
Set, you're back.
I have no idea what's happening.
More
For some reason. I don't.
on the range classes thing. What we want to do is we'd like to paper cut players more. It's something Wyatt talks about a lot. Basically, it goes melee classes have a hard time avoiding damage taken because they're right in the thick of things. Ranged classes can stand around corners, let their pets do the work, let their hydras, whatever, while being very far away and out of danger. We don't like that. That's very specifically why things like Thunderstorm and Jailer do damage to you immediately. That's very specific. If a Demon Hunter or Wizard can get to Greater Rift 40 by having 5 million toughness, everything into damage, and then just avoiding things, we don't like that. It's unfair to the melee classes. They can't do that. So we want to paper cut you. So all the complaints about Jailer doing too much damage, that's on purpose.
Yeah.
It's how we even out the disparity between range and melee classes for damage. Sentries don't die, pets do die. That's also a problem. Like we said on the Tavern Talk, we want to fix pets. We don't have a timeline on that, but we admit it's a problem and have plans to work on it.
Yeah.
All right, that's its back.
That's its back.
Let's
So
hop back in.
hop back into 30.
Okay, let's go, level 30.
Who wants to
Speaking of
start
pets,
keeping the track of how frequently Kelric and I die?
Oh, see.
You can actually compete about the number of deaths, but maybe it should be based around who died the most.
See that
and this
mortar
is
just
the
hit me in the
person who
face?
wins.
Paper cut. A very big
Oh.
fiery
I'm
rock
already
of
at
paper
1,
cut.
so
Oh god.
I don't think I can handle this.
Oh,
my
it
gosh.
hurts.
This is bad.
on the bright
Yeah.
side, it's
Um,
checkpoint. Like the checkpoint's right here, so
Wow, I
Yeah.
died. My
Wow.
cool reflection.
maybe it's too much even for for the full group.
No, I just need to spawn farther away.
Hmm.
Plus these Herald of Pestilences are
Yeah,
big meanies.
this is a pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, that's the sort of beginning
Fucking
we don't hope
spawn
for
campers,
in
man.
Greater Rifts.
This would be a
What's
nightmare
the
for
big
hardcore
odds here?
characters for sure.
We try not to
That's
let
the
anything
sort of-
spawn that close to an entrance.
Ouch.
This is a fixable issue.
I have
You
come
did
across
mention
this a
pet
couple
builds.
times in normal rifts.
Uh-oh.
Well, we're getting there.
All
It's a little
right.
safer now.
We're alive.
That was a nasty beginning to that.
Nice welcoming party.
I did notice one of my biggest problems with the pet build for Crusaders in particular was the inability to focus the pets on a certain target. Is that intended? Sort
It's
of,
very hard to
or-
give players direct control over the pets. I mean,
Yeah.
how would you do it, right? Like box select units. It's not StarCraft, so
Yeah,
it's quite complicated. What we do instead is we budget pet damage higher than normal with the assumption that they will sometimes hit things you don't want them to hit. Sometimes they will just run around like idiots. Hopefully not so much anymore.
Yeah.
We worked a lot on Pet Eye for patch 2.1. It should be
They're much,
significantly
much better. I can say that. Like, I've been playing a Pet Crusader since beforehand, and the difference is definitely noticeable.
Yeah, that's kind of how we solve the problem. Because unless we have to give the players a good way to control it, you know, your
Yeah,
desire
maybe some
can't be
sort of a
fulfilled.
priority thing can be just maybe introduced because they sometimes.
Yeah, so the way
I mean, it doesn't make sense not to attack like the big yellow guy. and
Sure.
his
So
minions
the way
and
that
stuff.
works is attacking the big yellow guy is the most common suggestion. The problem is because of the way the pathfinding works in our game. Pathfinding by itself is already pretty server intensive.
I
If
see.
let's say for example a yellow guy is stuck behind two white mobs who are blocking a tunnel, you know your pet will go for the yellow guy, get stuck, not realize it because he's not a human that he should just be hitting whatever's closest.
Yes,
Then he'll try to
I see.
pathfind, get himself stuck, not do damage, and then people will complain again that your pets are broken. We don't have a great solve there.
Yeah.
That's why right now they just focus on whatever's closest.
I see.
At least they're putting out damage.
Absolutely, yes, they are. By the way, the phalanx guys, they sometimes collide into each other. That's also intended, I suppose, not to have them be able
Yeah.
to spread each other.
No, that's a really tough
easily.
problem too. You know, if there's a tunnel that only one pet can path through, can fit through,
Yeah.
you'd hope they go in a straight line, but they don't like to do that. They'll just both try to fit through and both get stuck. That happens to all pets. We don't have anything that says, when you are stuck because of another pet, one guy walk backwards and you walk forward. There's no real logic for that.
Got a couple of deaths back here.
Yeah. I'll think about that though. Maybe I'll talk to our engineer and see if they have any
Any
great thoughts
suggestions
on
on
that.
that? Yeah.
It happens quite a lot.
With archers, it's actually a bit more. It's more specific in a sense that the archers don't actually move a whole lot. They tend to just stand in one spot, and it's the phalanx swordsmen that actually try to pass by them, but they collide with them.
Yeah.
So they're mostly immobile. They don't actually try to adjust their positioning, and that usually makes them sort of roadblocks in the pet build for Crusaders.
I see.
So the trick there is to just move back and recast them, sort of, but sometimes
Yeah.
that's not
It's mostly the
ideal.
ones that spawn from Cam's, or not Cam's rebuttal.
I don't
but,
play Pet Crusader. Can the archer phalanxes be attacked?
No.
No.
Okay, if they can't be attacked, we can make them have no collision. That sounds like it might be a thing we can look into. Because our thought is, if a pet can be attacked, we want them to have collision because
Right.
things stacking on top of each other is weird and stuff like that. But if they're kind of
Sure, we can try to do that. Can we do a quick recap of your build dead set? We have a lot of people who just recently joined, and
Okay.
it seems like there's a lot of confusion as to what your build consists of and kind of how
Sure.
it works.
So basically, we begin with the baseline of 6 accounts. This is familiar for most Crusaders as sort of the end game set piece to go for. Oh my gosh, I got myself into a bad situation here while trying to explain. But once you get your 6 accounts, a whole lot of options are open for you, which includes this sort of build where you try to focus on resetting your Falling Sword cooldown as quickly as possible, which is achieved through basically the 2 rarest Crusader items in the game. That sounds very encouraging, I'm sure, but
just find the
you
two
have to
rare
find
things.
a Chem's Rebuttal, which is a 2-handed sword that allows you to cast Falling Sword again within 4 seconds before the cooldown is triggered, which basically means that you can cast it twice. The other item is called the Akarat's Awakening. It's a Crusader shield. And this particular shield, upon blocking, has a chance to lower your cooldown by 1 second. So, since Falling Sword has a substantial cooldown and it's hard to make a build purely based around Falling Sword as a damage source without owning those 2 items, it's not exactly the easiest build to go for, and it's not exactly the some sort of an insane powerhouse, but it's definitely something you could go for funsies. As you can see, we've gotten up to level 30, which is a respectable level. And as far as the build goes, Falling Sword is a must. It synergizes excellently with Firestarter rune of the Akarat's Champion. I'm using the Superheated rune for Falling Sword. You damage over time, wrecks it very quickly. I'm putting Consecration on top of everything else just to make it even more fiery and delicious. And when everything gets thrown under the Elite or whatever enemy is in your way, you use your Laws of Valor with Frozen in Terror, stun everyone there for 5 seconds, and enjoy the benefits of your fire damage over time effects in a quick succession.
Yeah.
Usually, it melts Elites in Torment 6 without issue. Once you put that down, there's barely anything that can survive. In Greater Rifts, you might encounter problems because of the way the build basically plays. You put yourself in danger constantly when using this build. And the thing is, you try to provoke as much damage on your character as possible so that you block and you reset your cooldowns. So this can lead to very dangerous gameplay. It's not exactly the build I'd recommend for a hardcore character, but for a softcore character that you're comfortable with a couple of deaths here and there, it's definitely a viable way to play.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a fun build. I don't have the items to support it just yet. I'm very, very close to my 6 of cons. But I'm gonna need a ring as well. And I haven't seen either the sword or the shield yet, so.
Yeah, for the people asking, we're not playing on any Torment. This is Greater Rift, tier 30.
Yep.
Torment level is independent of this. It's on a different axis. So you create a game on whatever difficulty you want, hop into Greater Rift, and it has its own difficulty. The way the difficulty in Greater Rifts work is Greater Rift level 1 is something around normal mode. Greater Rift number, I would say 14 to 15 is somewhere around Torment 1. Greater Rift 26, I think, is somewhere around Torment 6.
Roughly around there. So we are technically beyond Torment 6 right now. Which is why Kellerick and I are dying fairly consistently. Kelric and I, Kelric had to, well, actually, both Kelric and Deadset had to level characters over here on the NA servers because I asked very politely, and they fulfilled my request. So I'm afraid they don't have the gear that they normally have as a result.
That says Crusader Master over on you, Paragon 500.
Yeah, if you want to, actually, I forgot to mention that, but if you want to see the exact gear that I would go for this build, you can go over and check my character over on the EU servers, because I left my character with that spec so that you can easily inspect and see what kind of items you should be going for.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think you can just Google, because I have it open. I just Googled Deadset Diablo Armory, and it came up. So
Yeah.
good job. You're on
It's
Google.
Deadset 2627.
Yeah, we also
If you don't
have
have
we have the blog, which Lylira has been linking in Twitch chat.
Thank you. Yeah.
But and we'll
God.
also have it when we take this video and we put it up on YouTube. We'll make sure that the blog is also linked in the YouTube comments.
Cool.
It's quite a comprehensive blog as well.
Yes, yes.
It's very good.
I try to make those very detailed so that there's some conversation there, but it's mostly about what it consists of and especially what the thinking was behind the build.
Yeah, I've had it open constantly while playing this character because I've been trying to play the build the entire time I've been 70. So it is an interesting way to play because it's just so much AoE damage. It feels really good. When you're at an appropriate difficulty level.
Yes. This is a little bit
It's true,
beyond
yeah.
where probably we should be, but
I think the two of my most painful memories from the PTR was getting a perfect canister bottle and a
Oh
perfect
no.
Akarat's Awakening. Both
Oh
of those.
no.
On PTR as
The
well.
Akarat's Awakening, though, it was so good.
oh,
It had everything that I could ever hope for. Both the cooldown reduction, the crit chance, the strength, block chance as well, which is actually an important part of the build. I don't think I stressed enough on this, but block chance is actually crucial for the build once you get the Akarat's Awakening. You usually go for the Hold Your Ground passive and go with Punish as well as a generator to sort of keep up the Hardened Senses stack and use the block chance to your advantage. Reset that long cooldown and use Falling Sword as much as possible. Because believe it or not, Falling Sword is a bit more safe to use than the Leapquake build for Barbarians because you're actually invulnerable once you leap into the skies. And yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
I
Did
think-
we want to upgrade a gem
Yeah,
now?
let's upgrade the gem. I think
Upgrade
we're-
a gem. All right. Just to
See
show
how
you
far
guys
we
how
get.
this works.
Yep.
I am actually in the process of. I just got my Enforcer gem, which I am definitely excited to upgrade for this build.
Pure
so
pet guy, definitely.
it's pretty perfect for that. You guys will notice that I have an upgrade chance of 100%. The chance for you to upgrade your gem is based off of what the level of the gem is, as well as compared to the level of the greater tiered rift that you reach. So
exactly.
because we've reached such a high level, my Enforcer gem hasn't been upgraded yet. I have a 100% chance to upgrade it.
Yeah, your upgrade chance is 100% if the greater rift tier you end on is 10 or more than the level of your gem. It scales down from there. When the levels are equal, the chance is 60, and then it scales down after that.
That's good to know. I got a whole. I got 4 legendaries and a set piece from that last
Wow.
rift.
It's good stuff.
So
Yeah, you guys
I
can
got
have
a piece of the Invokers, actually, the Thorns set, which was sort of something I expected to be an iconic build for Crusaders, but kind of fell by the wayside, I suppose.
Thorns just didn't work out well. The whole like waiting for monsters to hit you thing is. We tried. We made a whole set out of it. The Crusader had a lot of Thorns mechanics built into the class during early development, and that's why we originally concepted this Invoker Thorn set. You can tell it looks like tree thorns. We had this whole thorns thing going on. Late in development, we realized after a lot of feedback that the thorns combined with the block chance, combined with the block value stuff going on, was just really complicating the Crusader. It wasn't very intuitive, and it was just more complication than we needed, so we gutted it. Then we ended up with a set that doesn't synergize with any class. This was supposed to be the Archon the Archon set version for the Crusader, the Thorns set.
Yes.
Because we got into the mechanics, that's where we are. Our current decision is just to leave the set as is. We had thought about maybe redesigning the set completely into something completely brand new. But we always hate kind of pulling the rug out from under people, because maybe there's that one guy who freaking loves Thorns. And he's going to be real sad.
Like the one guy with all the poison damage.
Yeah.
You can actually get decent damage out of Thorns whenever your Iron Skin is up, so maybe some sort of a change in that regard, because maybe some sort of a switch. What was I thinking? I think I had a suggestion regarding the 2-piece bonus of the new set, the Roland piece, which is 500 strength, which is pretty straightforward, but nothing that gets you super excited over.
Sure.
But the Invoker is actually a 4-piece, which means you can fit in another 2-piece. And if there is some sort of maybe Iron Skin tie-in with that set piece, because the Iron Skin is actually going to, and I did include it in my Greater Rift attempts with the Roland set piece, it's actually very good for the build. Getting that 50% damage reduction.
Yeah, how we solve that problem is we would make, a shoulder or glove or one of the pieces that's part of the 6-piece Roland set and make it do something that synergizes with the Roland set specifically. Ideally, maybe it synergizes with the con set too. We'll see how it turns out. The cons is at the top of the leaderboards. When people get their condemn shield, I think they'll be high up there, as the PTR showed.
Yes.
The concept probably doesn't need anything to take it any farther than that. We'll think about the Roland set for sure, though. It's definitely high on my radar.
Yeah, I mean, it would be similar to the way that we added the Vile Ward for the Raycore set, right?
Exactly.
Yes,
The way that it synergizes there, so.
Yeah. I guess we have
We've got about 9
minutes.
minutes left on the stream today. Do you just want to take some more questions?
Yeah, I think
or-
this would be a good time to just take questions, I think.
Sure. Sounds good. Let's see. What else do we have?
Quindam X, the Jade set does not consume the gem of efficacious toxin.
Okay. That's good to know. That's something that I didn't know. I haven't played around with the Jade set yet. I haven't ended up getting access to that yet.
Oh, the Jade set's lots of fun. I always say the Jade set's one of my most fun playstyles. I had a full pet doctor, but running in circles, it's not as fun as Jade. Jade is the on-kill mechanic. It's having some scaling problems. At higher greater rifts, you're not able to kill things fast enough to proc your Grave Injustice, so your effective damage is a lot lower. And that's a problem with the on-kill mechanic of Grave Injustice, not with the Jade Harvester set. It's kind of the problem with Natalia's 4-piece also. There's not a really easy solution there at the moment.
Let's see. I know that I saw in there a question about Demon Hunters and Marauders, which I know you've talked about before. That Marauders feels like the only set that people are using it.
Yeah, to reiterate what I said on Tavern Talk is what we're planning to do is add 6-piece bonuses to some vanilla sets like Natalia's, or make new sets in the future that have competing playstyles.
Yeah.
I think Crusader is good right now. They have a Condemn thing going on. They have a Shotgun thing. Witch Doctors have a Pet thing, a Jade Doctor thing. Wizard also needs a secondary playstyle that's not Firebirds. But that's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Dead Set or Kellerick have any questions for us either? If there's something that's been kind of itching at you.
Yeah. If you see anything that interests you.
I did, but we sort of covered it throughout the course of the stream, so...
Oh, all right. Well,
yeah.
We did a good job talking about stuff then.
Yeah.
That's good.
Have you reconsidered the infinite scaling that Kaiser suggested last week, I think? Is it just going is it going as a discussion in Blizzard?
We've been taking we're keeping a close eye on Greater Rift rewards right now.
Yeah, I'd say it's a little too early to tell. We talked about it a lot, like very honestly, a lot, about the Greater Rift reward structure. It changed a lot over the development, as you can see. No new information on that front. I will say that the current system as is succeeding in incentivizing people to push to higher tiers for the people who have very high level gems already.
Yep.
Yes.
Let's see. thinking, what else do we have in here? There was one I saw earlier that I wanted to answer. Oh, I saw it a couple of times, and I think you actually know the rationale behind it. The Witch Doctor Horrify change.
Ah, okay. That was really just a the skill was better than it should be. I mean,
It's like over budgeted a little bit.
yeah, we have budgets for powers, right? If you look at a passive like Tough as Nails on the Barbarian, does 25% armor and some Thorns thing, which really doesn't matter. It's there for free.
Right.
And if you look at a Warcry, it provides 20% armor per rune. 20% for the base skill, 20% for the rune. I think you can see a similar power levels for a lot of things like energy armor. I think provides somewhere around 20% all resist. With an 8-second uptime and a 12-second cooldown in Horrify, 100% armor was just over budget. If you multiply 8 times 35, you'll see that the number is actually quite fair for how much survivability it provides. That said, I know a lot of Witch Doctors using the skill. Anytime we nerf something, it's not done lightly, and it's done really only when we think the problem is severe. Imagine if Hammer of the Ancients went out accidentally doing 5 times damage. This is kind of like a similar scale. It's probably 3 times too high. It went from 100 to 35. That's really the rationale. I know a lot of people were geared for extremely low survivability, Jade Doctors especially. And the answer is you just kind of have to take some survivability passives or whatever Paragon gear to make up for it.
Yeah.
If it turns out, that Witch Doctors are not performing as well as we'd like, we won't say, here, Witch Doctors A class is not performing well. Here's a crutch. A crutch is an extremely over budget, overpowered passive or rune or skill. We don't want you to do that. We want you to say, if I want to take survivability, I can take Jungle Fortitude, or Frightening Aspect, or Lifelink Dogs, or Serpent, or whatever. But having the skills be balanced on their own and have each of them be able to stand on their own keeps the game balanced on a base level and keeps your choices high. We would just make more powerful Witch Doctor items in the future. Yeah.
Let's see.
A question did pop up. Sorry if I
No, go ahead.
Something. A question did pop up, I think 2 days ago over at the Crusader community, but I did not have the time to check things out in depth. Has any change been made in Firestarter and the damage over time effect? Because it's sort of popping up like the supposed Condemn change in Blade of Prophecy earlier this summer, and it turned out that there's no change, and I have not had a chance to check it out. People are a bit concerned about any sort of ninja nerf to Firestarter currently.
A what to Firestarter?
Sort of a ninja nerf to Firestarter, where the damage over time doesn't stack up as high as it used to.
So I don't usually touch the Crusader stuff. I work on most legendary items and sets, but the Crusader is mostly handled by Dawn. I don't know of any specific Firestarter nerfs or buffs or bugs or anything.
I don't think that there were any active changes. I know that there was a general change where a lot of items with procs were proccing other things, which wasn't intended. So that might be a byproduct of that, where we don't want your procs to be proccing procs.
Yeah, that's the thing that WoW often says can't proc procs. But we don't want, our proc system functions like this. Every one of your attack cycles, we want you to be able to proc life on hit once. If you have a legendary power that says chance on hit to deal 1 damage, we want you to deal that 1 damage every time you swing with a skill that's single target. If it's a multi-shot, it rolls against a proc scaler on every guy, so maybe you can proc twice. Maybe you can proc 0. It should even out. Firestarter should work like that. If you had, pretend you had another legendary that just says every second you hit everything around you for whatever. That should not be proccing Firestarter. That should not be proccing your other legendary that says chance on hit to deal 1 damage. And that's because we
because the most used Firestarter legendary is the Dark Knight, which casts basically Fist of Heavens twice.
Yes, so that is perfectly fine. Mirror Ball can proc 3 APOC, 3 whatevers. If the power says, it really depends on how it's built. If it says, I cause your thing to double cast, or I cause your attack speed to double, that's more procs. But if a thing just happens like, periodically I lightning strike somebody, you're not doing much there, and it's not the intent of the thing to cause more procs, that's why it doesn't.
All right. Well,
And another question, I think, if we have more time for that.
sure. Let's squeeze this last one in. We've got about a minute
Okay.
left. So.
So people were asking about any possible change as a buff for Falling Sword and its viability. I don't think that the cost is particularly problematic, because usually you have the 25 RAF needed, but either as lowering the cooldown or buffing the legendary, which is, as we know, the rarest legendary for Crusaders.
Yeah,
Cam's Rebuttal.
I think Cam's Rebuttal totally could be buffed. We'd like to maybe make a different item that synergizes with the whole build if we want to buff Falling Sword. We don't just buff skills
Yes.
by themselves. We like
it's
to
a
think
powerful
our
skill.
skills are balanced as is. I will say though that things that have both a cooldown and a resource cost are mostly unnecessary. I'd say one or the other is enough.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No promises.
First,
Well, I
just
think-
as a consideration.
Yeah. So I
Yes.
think that actually wraps it up for us. It's 4 o'clock and we've gone for an hour. Thanks very much for everybody who joined us, not only in chat, but also here today. John, Kelrick, Deadset, thank you all for taking time out of your day to hang out and chat and have fun.
Thank you all for being here. Thanks everyone for watching.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
It's my pleasure.
So we really appreciate you guys tuning in and sending in your builds. And Play Your Way Thursday will be starting back up again next week. We'll be featuring the monk. So if you have a monk build, please go ahead and send it in to me so I can take a look at it and yours might be featured. Every 4 weeks, we'll run a poll. You guys get to vote, and then you might be able to come join us on stream and play along. So check that out on Diablo3.com. And, well, until next time, have fun. Play safe.
All right. Good luck and great
Bye.
rest, everyone.
Yeah,
Have
bye.
fun.
Bye.